So everyone can hear us now. Do this one.
Hey,
what's up?
What's going on?
It's like
everybody?
Family Squares.
It is.
Family
it's like
Square.
Family Squares. Yeah.
Hollywood Squares. That's the old school show. Hollywood Squares.
Yeah.
Hollywood
It's like something. Who knows what it's like?
We're missing one person.
We are. Yeah. Don't know why.
Yeah, Scott's running late
Yeah.
as
Okay.
usual.
All right.
But we should
So
have all the
happy,
audio on and everything. So it's been a while since we've been all together,
Yep.
right?
Happy 4th, by the way.
Oh, same to you.
Oh, that
sir.
was
Same
that
to
was
you.
yesterday.
Happy
Yeah.
Independence Day. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
America.
Something like that. Remember, as Joe Biden says, we're back.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm not really back. I have some breaking news that's pretty depressing.
Yeah, I heard.
I got
Oh God.
yes deleted today off of Facebook, permanently deleted. So my Facebook platform is gone. So
It's insane.
it is what it is.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
It is. Yeah.
And for what? Now it could be for two things. One, it could have been you getting assaulted by Antifa on Saturday morning in Los Angeles, or it could have been for you. We won't say the name, but you capturing footage
Some footage last night.
Yeah, that disputes the narrative. It completely goes against the narrative of those guys out there, and
Yep.
I got a feeling that's why the latter of the two.
Really? So that's what my wife thinks. But I did not say their name in any of the my
You did
writings.
in the title.
No, you said I did.
Yeah.
I put PBs.
I thought you said the whole thing. Don't.
No.
Let's not say it. We can't. That's like saying the F word. You know, with the election and F word, you can't say that either. Apparently.
Right. So that's my only thing I had in the writings, and in the video there was nothing of their acronyms or anything like that. So I don't know. Stupid. It's one of the two.
But you know what? That's okay, because there's going to be something I'm going to show at the end of this video if I can make it to the end of the video. There's something that Adam and I we've talked to each other pretty much the entire day. Like my phone, I've had to charge
5 hours.
Yeah, wow. Because we were working on this app. We have like the demo, and I'm going to actually show it later on today, so people could see just why we're doing this, because it's freaking awesome, you know. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. So again, the lower square that you guys see below me down there, that's Scott. So say hi, Scott. Okay. Yep. So you know, you just can't get here on time. He even confirmed it too. That's a funny thing. He's just got stuff going on. Yeah. But
yeah, I can't even imagine what he did today. I bet it had something to do with scraping some sort of thing out of his new house that none of us probably would want to do. So
I mean I was pretty productive today. I worked pretty much all day on the app with Adam. I went to the gym, you know, and did chest and arms real quick, came back, even mowed the lawn. Really bad job, but I still did it. You know. But yeah, I just zipped around, did figure eights on the 0 turn, but that's nice. About it, man. Yeah.
All right, so I got a question then. Should I take off the 2 videos then off YouTube?
Yeah.
Off YouTube? Nah, it doesn't matter with YouTube. You're not banned on YouTube too, are you?
No, but I'm just wondering if they took him off, if they deleted my account on Facebook, should I take them off of YouTube?
I think no, because Facebook has the rule that you're not allowed to mention those guys. They specifically have it because in Facebook's eyes, regardless of whether common sense kicks in, they're a terrorist organization. That's the way Facebook views it. You know, and mainstream media is trying so hard. For anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, you do know who we're talking about. A group of people who are apparently white supremacists, when they have a huge percentage of them are minorities, including the chairman. But again, they always say they're white supremacists, but whatever. So you captured,
they were Pittsburgh Pirate colors.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Pirate colors. You know,
there you go.
Yeah. So stupid, so dumb. Anyway, but there was a fire, right? A wildfire that broke out.
Yep. Last night.
And so they happened to be near it, and they actually sprang into action and put out the damn fire before the firefighters got there, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And you can't even tell it's them in the video because it's blackout, and all you see is men putting out the fire. So that's it's crazy.
You know what? April, let's write an article on it, and just don't mention who they are until the very last sentence.
So yes, it was in Creswell last night. Creswell, Oregon. That's where it happened.
Yeah, let's put it. You can get with Quincy to try to get some footage, or grab it from. We'll post it out because we're writing an article on it, and at the very end we'll just say Good Samaritans come together to fight a wildfire. You will be surprised, and then that's it. There he is. There he is. Other side. You're
other
mirroring
side. That
Quincy.
way.
Yeah,
that way. Yeah. There we go.
There he is. But yeah, it's man, it's so weird.
I can't hear anything. I don't know what's going on. I can't hear a word you're saying.
Nah, maybe you gotta put headphones in. How are you doing today, Scott?
Wait.
You can't hear anything. So Scott, what happened to all your hair?
I gotta reconnect.
So he's got to have something wrong with his system. Maybe he'll figure it out. But yeah. So today, the premise of the show... If
anyone's ever wondering why we start our show late, like why Rhino and I go on at 9:04 or 9:07,
this is why right here.
This is usually what's happening.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Adam and I, we checked this thing like 2 hours ago. We're like, we're good. And then, there's just problems with everybody else. But you know what? This is what happens when we're all doing our own stuff. It takes a little bit. But I think the background looks good. It's very 4th of July-y. I think our picture and our audio is all queued up pretty good. Scott, can you hear me now?
He's like...
No. No, he shook his head no. So the reason he'll figure it out. All right, so for anyone just tuning in, because we have a bunch of new
I
people.
can't hear anything. I don't know what's going on. I can't hear anybody.
Adam, can you help him real quick?
Hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear.
Yeah, you're good.
Wow, this is great.
Doesn't
so you guys just want to hear about my day then? I don't know.
Not really.
All right, I got to figure out why I can't hear you. I'm gonna
Not really. We actually don't want to hear you, Scott. We don't want to hear you.
I mean, I'm just double checking to see because we can hear him. So it's got to be on his audio board.
He's probably calling me. Is he about to call me? It looks like he's about to call me.
Call Adam. Call Adam. All right. So anyway, for anyone that doesn't know, my name is Steve. I host Wake Up America. It's a show that normally airs at 8 o'clock Monday through Friday. Scott, he's down there, and this dude Adam, they host a show called Freedom. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Let me mute him while he's trying to deal with this.
Hey.
Hey. All right, so I muted him just real quick. Hopefully he figures it out. And then Quincy, of course, down there on the bottom, he hosts a show called The Reckoning with BCP, which airs. He's pretty much the only one that actually follows the damn schedule, because the rest of us are all doing stuff during the week. And like I'm in the middle of a vacation, so I'm spending a week here, and then I go on vacation again. This time with my wife's family. But yeah. It's funny. We used to do this. We've only done it a couple of times, but it's where we all kind of get together and talk about politics, talk about what's going on in the country, and trying to figure out, our own perspectives, because we all have a difference of opinion. But let's start with you, Quincy, because Saturday was a pretty eventful day for you. So why don't you just give a rundown for anyone who didn't watch that footage, and we'll go from there.
So a little background on Saturday. Last week, I want to say Monday or Tuesday, there was a lady that went into a spa in LA. I think it was called We Spa. And so she was in the locker room, and there was a transgender person, I guess, in the locker room, but had the male parts. And the person's stuff was all out. And so this lady complained, made a big old video, went viral. And she was talking about how this person was having their stuff hanging out, swinging around in front of children, in front of women. She felt uncomfortable, yada, yada, yada. So a bunch of patriots decided to want to do a rally there in front of the spa on Saturday at 11 a.m. Well, the next day, Antifa came out with a flyer counter-protesting that, saying they're going to show up at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And then, so because of that threat, a lot of patriots did not want to come out. WYSIWYG picked me up from the airport around 8:30 that morning. We got down to the event area of the We Spa around 9:30, and Antifa was completely out there, covered all four corners of the intersection where the spa was located at. Probably about 150 to 200 of them at the time, and the numbers grew. WYSIWYG and myself walked down there. I kind of stayed back a little bit. He walked all up into the middle of them, and he got pushed out. Pretty quick. And then I was surrounded by them, and I started hearing a few of them saying, I think he's with them. And I kind of started moving to the right a little bit to move away. And then as soon as that happened, about 5 minutes later, I saw a street preacher cross the street, and he was attacked. He was sucker punched from behind. Phone was taken. His hat was taken. A banner was ripped from him. And then I went toward them and him to kind of separate them. So did WYSIWYG, Chris. And at that point, they turned from that street preacher and they started targeting Chris. And that's when he got assaulted. Camera went down. They pushed him down, hit something over his head. He later told me it was a skateboard. And he finally got away. A police officer came down the street in his squad car and kind of walked with WYSIWYG up the street. And then about a half hour after that, more street preachers showed up and they were attacked pretty bad. They got out, made escape, and they actually went back into it. And that's the videos that everybody has seen that's gone viral. Right. So that was the second beatings of them that happened, that the videos that have gone viral. Yeah, it was a mess, and police didn't do nothing until there was some fights going on up the street with some patriots that that did end up showing up because of the live streams that we were showing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we actually covered the end of it because we were covering the Trump rally starting at 4:00. And
Right.
I knew you guys were going to be down there. And then I had everything ready to cover the Trump rally. We're just waiting for Adam to get his feed going. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, it's going crazy there. They said Chris got attacked. They said I heard you got attacked as well. And so
I did not officially get attacked.
Oh, okay. I heard someone was pulling at your backpack or something like that, trying to pull you back in or something. I don't know. But I didn't see that either. When I turned on the feed and then I decided to broadcast it live, one, because I knew that we're going to get a different kind of audience because we're going to get people that are just looking for, the Donald Trump speech because it wasn't anywhere because nobody can really stream Donald Trump's speech. And then... And so I figured, one, we'll do that. Adam wasn't live yet, so I was just going to broadcast it anyway. And yeah, I mean, that one of the videos now, everyone complains and they can't read captions, but they want to be like, well, that didn't happen at the Trump rally, so that it's unimportant. Well, it is very important when people are getting attacked in broad daylight in the morning for practicing their First Amendment right, whether or not you agree with it. And that's the thing that people always seem to confuse. You don't necessarily need to agree with what they're saying. You only need to agree with the fact that everyone has a First Amendment right, whether you like them or not.
Right.
And the people that were there in DC or the people that were there in Los Angeles, they didn't care about anybody. And I saw. Go ahead.
I was going to say,
Right Side Broadcasting showed it too. Just so you know,
did they?
Right Side Broadcasting did show it. Yeah, they did show it.
They showed Los Angeles.
They showed Los Angeles for a second. I swear to you, they showed they announced it. And maybe they didn't show it, but they said it out loud. And because I was listening to RSBN through my AirPods on my phone the whole time. And I had heard, after I talked to you, I had heard them mention it, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, it must be really going down. So
let me clarify something real quick.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with people's First Amendment, their freedom of speech. I know that's what the second, I say street preachers, but people were attacked prior to them even opening up their mouths.
Right.
WYSIWYG was attacked straight up. He was filming. The street preacher that was walking across the street, he wasn't preaching.
Yeah.
He just walked through them. I think, I don't know why. I think it might have been like it was one of his first times around that environment.
Right.
He wasn't preaching. He didn't have no bullhorn. He wasn't yelling at people. And then the ones who showed up the first time, they just walked down the street and Antifa came toward them. And I kid you not, without even any sort of dialogue going on, I see a push coming from the side of Antifa.
Yeah.
And then, from then there was like six people on one person.
It's very odd when you think about it because they've said they were chanting like trans lives and matter and all that stuff while they were there, but your video captured them attacking trans people. Like that's the most
especially
amazing
at the end.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the most amazing thing is that video, and that's one of the reasons why I'm glad it's at the beginning of our Trump coverage, because people that are trying to find the Trump coverage are going to see what goes on there, and if they actually listen, they're going to hear us say, "Well, we're showing this because nobody else is going to," and it's extremely important that we're able to cover that kind of stuff, and that's why it's great to have you on the team and WYSIWYG, working with us closely, because we're never going to know. And Chris was pissed.
Nope.
Like, Chris was mad. He's like, I got it all. I'm coming after all of you. And I hope that he's able to actually do it. That's the thing is I hope that that the police department's actually going to try to hold some of these people accountable, because, I mean, they were straight up, they were brutalizing people.
Yeah,
and now there's a video of, I guess, a Mexican guy that's got tattoos all over him, getting surrounded by
street preachers.
Yeah, and it looks like he was arrested by police as well when he's got a mob of Antifa surrounding him and trying to punch him and all that stuff. They arrest him. It's kind of like what's going on in southern Jersey right now. There was a dispute between two neighbors. One of the neighbors started ranting about all sorts of racist stuff. There's a viral video about it. So there's a BLM protest in southern New Jersey right now. in about an hour ago, it looked like people went in and arrested the guy whose house that people were protesting at, and then as the police were pulling him away, they were pelted with bottles and all this other stuff. The videos are all over Twitter. There are no live feeds. I think it was Mount Laurel, New Jersey, where that's going on. I mean,
wow, that is South Jersey.
Yeah,
that's not a bad area either.
No, and that's the thing I'm not excusing the fact that, if someone was using racist terminology or whatever the case may be. But what we saw in Los Angeles, I think, was different than anything else, because that wasn't, like you said. I always say the First Amendment, is a protected speech, no matter what.
Right,
but like you were saying, I wasn't there in the beginning, and nor was I even broadcasting or watching. So I didn't. The only thing I saw is that people were just getting mobbed. Every single time, WYSIWYG's feed was down, you were up, and you were, everyone's like, why aren't you getting in there? Like,
yeah, right.
why
don't you come out with me and we'll get in there. Let's go test that theory. Test it out.
Anyone that's from Los Angeles that calls yourself a patriot, this guy flew from Portland, Oregon to go there. So, let's remember that. Like, nobody
go in there.
This happened at high noon, too. This is at high noon. I mean, this is a high noon battle. This is like the morning 11. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's so weird.
People are still eating breakfast, getting coffee, and they're and they're getting in fights.
And nobody cares. And that's the thing. It didn't make national news. I think Fox News covered it for like 10 seconds. Newsmax didn't even, I don't even know if they covered it because they were just covering Trump. But people don't cover that kind of stuff because it's almost like the sight unseen. If it doesn't happen, or if you don't see it, then you just can pretend like it doesn't happen.
So I heard one thing from one of the streamers down there, and he told me that news stations now cannot enter into those things because of liability. So that might be some of the reason why we will not see this stuff on mainstream media.
Yeah. Well, I could see that.
Yeah. And here's the thing I want to ask, because, when it comes to our Second Amendment, we kind of all know it when we fear for our life. When you have a mob like that around you, would that be considered fearing for your life? I mean, that's a valid question, because they're out for blood. They're out
There's a two-part answer to that. Because you said, should it be considered? Yes, obviously. But will they? No. A perfect example is what happened in Austin, Texas. The Army sergeant who's delivering Uber, surrounded by BLM, one guy points an AK-47 at him. He shoots and kills him. They discharge him with felony murder. Almost a year after. Because apparently he's not allowed to shoot and defend himself when someone's pointing a rifle at him. The only thing he's allowed to do is be the victim. That's it.
So that's what's scary. And I'm looking at WYSIWYG when that stuff was happening to him, because I was torn. And I knew the street preachers, and here I'm torn. I'm like, do I enter this? Not. And they're saying no. It's grateful. We're thankful that you get the footage. Here WYSIWYG is, and here's another person I know, and I'm like, okay, where do I go at this point?
Right.
One person's freaked out. WYSIWYG's being chased. Luckily, there was other eyes and people that we know that were on Wizzy. And so I'm like, what do you do? Because these are friends and people you care about. And then if you get into it, then there goes another camera down. So it's a high stressful thing out in those situations. It's very high stressed.
Yeah. I think you did the right thing. I didn't want you to jump in the middle. I saw the people in your chat that were like, why aren't you there? Why aren't you jumping in? That's not your role. That's not what you were going there to film it. You were going, and to be honest, when I saw it, Chris was gone already. There were no other people. And then, you were like, oh, they have this woman up, they're spraying water on this person, they're doing this. What are you going to do against, 150 people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then, didn't someone get stabbed just a bit later?
Yep. There was someone got sliced or something. Yeah.
Yep.
And I saw the guy who had the knife. I saw one of the guys who had a knife, and that's toward the end of the stream when some of the Patriots did show up. He was, he had a knife in his hand.
You have that on video or no?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He had it was a smaller little blade, but he had it.
It doesn't matter. It's still a knife.
Right. Yeah.
And
he was going to use it for something.
Yeah. Yeah, to answer your question, where you have, obviously you would think common sense would say, like, listen, if your life's in jeopardy, you have the right to, to defend yourself. But it seems more often than not that that's not it's not permissible. You know what I mean? Because think about it. Look at Portland, Oregon, where you're from, where these Antifa scumbags will attack the police day in, day out, day in, day out. They're just released without even being charged. And then they're going after the police officers who are being assaulted or who are doing their job.
Crazy.
And actually charging and indicting the police officers for literally doing their job. And everyone can argue and say, well, he pushed a girl in the face with a baton. He did a legal, by the book move after, and you hear it in the video. This is the most damning thing to me, and this is why the police department cleared him, because you heard him give a verbal command, which was picked up for her to stay down, of which she was trying to get up. She wants to play like she's a neutral journalist. Why the hell isn't a camera in her hand? Why was it instead another Antifa guy that was getting arrested that she tried to pull out of there? Yeah, and
that's not a journalist.
Yeah, and now they're going after they're going after 4 or more people now, or 4 or more officers, from what I understand, that they're trying to indict. It's just sad. I think Scott's still frozen, or he's like a statue right there. I'm not sure.
He's connected. He's trying to figure out what's going on. Scott, can you hear us at all? So this is Scott currently right now.
Oh.
And he just can't hear us. He can't hear us. He's got his Biden puppet though. There's his Biden puppet. Biden's rubbing his ear saying, hey,
you know what?
Rhino.
You know what? Hey, I have an idea, Adam. So tell him to connect back to what he was doing before, so we get him off with duplicate, and then have him call you and put him through Bluetooth on your Roadcaster.
I can do that. Hang on one second.
Yeah, that'll work and at least fix the audio issues for now, because it'll be synced up, because we don't have much of a delay right now. It may be
here's another thought about the guy who was arrested, the Hispanic dude. It could have also been for his safety.
Hey, I can hear you.
Well, I hear you too.
Keep going.
What's up? Oh my God! It worked. It worked, Scott. You're such a big boy.
Interrupt you, BCP.
You're such a big boy.
All right. So what were you saying, BCP?
That it could be that they were trying to protect him. So a lot of times, well, I'm not going to say a lot of times. Sometimes officers will arrest people to get them out of situations.
Yeah.
That could have been that. I don't know.
Yeah. It very well could have, and it looked like they were getting ready to put him in handcuffs and then didn't, when the video cut out. But it showed him being attacked by a mob of people, and then it's funny because the caption, which is being shared on social media right now, the caption is that he I guess he had like Mexican cartel,
he had a bunch of tattoos. The dude was tatted up,
and people knew what those tattoos were, and they're like, oh, so now Antifa's trying to pick a fight with the Mexican cartels, and
right.
like
oh yeah,
So that's going super viral.
Bye
right
Antifa.
Now. And I mean, I don't want to see anyone hurt. You know what I mean? Regardless of who it is or whatever the situation is, but it couldn't happen to better people. But
So
that
was my Saturday. That was my weekend, and then obviously yesterday. So with the other video.
Yeah. I mean, you just had your Facebook
You're
completely nuked. Yeah,
it's completely nuked, completely gone. Someone reached out to me this morning, and
look at this. Yeah, I couldn't find it either. So look at this. So Adam, you were demonetized, right, on Facebook
and
a while ago.
Facebook and YouTube a long time ago, and I'm still halfway remonetized on Facebook.
On Facebook, right?
I don't.
What they take away? They took away stars and ads, right?
Stars and ads, so I can have a supporter group.
Yeah. But you can't comment in your own supporter group.
No.
I
don't believe so.
What?
I don't think I'm a member because you're not a member of the group, so you can't actually like do anything in the group. You have to get somebody else to do the group.
Yeah. So last week I was demonetized. I was demonetized on Facebook as well. So, and Facebook was, and we talked about, I'm not going to go into it a long way. They said it was because my website couldn't be verified. My website's been verified for 18 months. It's always been verified. That's why we've been monetized. We never lost our monetization. I challenge it. So they allowed the supporters, but said I'm not allowed to participate in the supporter group. They took away all ads, and they also took away my ability to get stars. So
but Mark Zuckerberg rides on hydrofoil with a American flag for freedom.
It's
freedom of speech. Have you seen this video?
I
today?
have not seen that video.
No.
Oh, yeah. Mark Zuckerberg, he's on a hydrofoil. You know what those are, like the surfboards that come out of the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's holding an American flag.
Shut
and he's
the hell up.
Look up.
Oh my God, I'm finding it right now. I got it. Don't worry.
Yes. Steve Zuckerberg, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like the biggest hypocritical thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, so Adam about 2 months ago was partially demonetized, and it stands. I was partially demonetized last week on YouTube, on Facebook, and just so anyone understands, 50% of the revenue off of Facebook. I had 114,000 followers. We made money on Facebook, so that's a huge deal. And now Quincy's entire page has been blocked from the internet as well. So for and for posting a video that depicted people putting out a fire. Like, that's literally why he was deleted. Or it could have been the Trump speech, but they didn't delete. Or no, you didn't cover it. You just covered the riots. There were no. Yeah. See, and even with that. Oh, I see. I'm getting worked up. I almost. My God, that's real.
Steve, do it, bro. Do it.
That is real.
That's not real.
Mark Zuckerberg. That is real.
Yeah, that is him.
It's
like all over.
Oh my!
Is there a video?
God.
I didn't find the video.
Oh yeah, there's a video.
It's mirrored, so I can't even read what that says.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's
Mark Zuckerberg likes to infringe on First Amendment rights. Oh no!
What the Zuck? He goes full cringe with flag waving surfing video. Oh my God,
full
dude.
cringe.
Oh, yeah.
So this is interesting because the Democrats, Yahoo News is super liberal, right? Like they're out here, they're saying cringe. It's cringy. They're cringing to see American flags. I mean, cringing to see a liberal such as Zuckerberg hold an American flag. I'm cringing a little bit too, though. To be honest with you guys, that's a
because
scary
you see
look.
him. That's why.
Yeah. And he's doing the most blasphemous thing ever. Like you would never think that Mark Zuckerberg would be holding an American flag.
The leader of encroaching on free speech.
Right.
The entire left sees this
really
now.
Bummed Quincy out.
That's the flag of an enemy. That's the flag of an enemy to them.
You can see your face. You're just like, is that real? Oh, this is bullshit.
Basically,
that's where you draw the line right there. That's where he's like, hey, it's gone too far.
Because it's hypocritical. It really is.
Yeah,
it really is hypocritical.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. The day that you got banned on Facebook, he's doing that.
He's doing American flag, freedom of speech, First and Second Amendment. Yeah,
so stupid.
That.
When you put it like that, it's really bad. When you put it like that, it's really bad.
It's so bad. I mean, in all reality, and there's very little that anyone can do about it. You know what I mean?
You can't do nothing. That's what sucks. You can't really even fight. You can't talk to one human being and plead your case.
Nope, you can't. And it's very sad. And the same thing happens on YouTube as well.
Man. There it is.
That doesn't even look real.
That's not real.
Real. That looks green screened as hell, dude. No way.
It's not.
He's celebrating blocking you. He's so happy. Look at him.
That is not
this
real.
Was right after he decided that he'd take your money away, BCP.
I bet that thing. How much does one of those things cost, though?
You know what the worst part about everything? You know what the worst part is the fact that, wow, he's really doing that for a long time. He has way too much time on his hands.
Right. That's what I was just thinking. That's too much money.
20 seconds. I'd have been on my ass already.
I know. I can't even water tube or whatever. I can't even do it. Or water ski. I can't even stand up on skis. My wife and I tried a couple of years ago. It was embarrassing as hell. But
my knees just
go wakeboarding one time and I embarrassed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad, really. And there was a ton of news articles where it actually talked about a lot of this stuff, the flag waves. Oh, today, the U.S. soccer team, as a 91-year-old Vietnam, or I think World War II vet, was playing the Star-Spangled Banner, the national anthem, with a harmonica. The U.S. girls soccer team, several members turned their backs on him.
So disgusting.
To say we
I
don't
was
have a problem.
wondering why it was trending on Twitter. Like, why? Why do you go to the Olympics to represent our country if you don't want to represent our country?
Yeah,
like isn't that what the Olympics used to be about? Pride and pride in your country. You were excited to go and.
We're not even talking about the Olympics. We're talking about the U.S. soccer team.
Oh, this is just a U.S. soccer team. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is just our local home base soccer team.
Yeah, they were playing like Peru or something. Yeah,
they'll play in the Olympics. Didn't they bring soccer back too for women? I don't know. Did they play soccer?
Is soccer a real sport? I don't know. I don't football.
Don't they? No. Soccer has like 11 leagues. They have 17 pro championships. Per year. It's like a year-round season.
I just don't have the cardio game to try to even run around like that.
It just seems stupid. It's like you run. It's the only game, literally, that you could play for 90 minutes and nothing happened. And they're like 0-0, great, good, everybody's happy. No, why are you happy at a 0-0 score after 90 minutes of it? Makes no sense.
I know. And then they get all worked. That's why everyone gets so worked up when someone finally scores, because they've been waiting 3 hours for someone to do it.
Yep.
So dumb. I've never understood it. But it's sad, really, when you think about it, because it's a common thing. I forgot who it was. Someone did it. Associated Press went out there with a reporter and a microphone on July 3rd and interviewed Georgetown University students. You see that one? And they're asking everyone what they think about the 4th, and it was a bunch of we are in so much trouble as a country.
Yes, we are.
And until and I always said I'm just not at that point. I'm not at that point. I'm not at that point. I'm not at that point. I think that tide's churned. You know what I mean? There's something has to be done before now. I got in a knockdown battle with my wife yesterday about the NEA now coming forth and pushing the National Educators Association, so the largest teaching union in America has just voted to push CRT. These are the union. Yeah. This is the biggest union of teachers. So all teachers in the United States are part of this union. So of course I went to my wife and I said, "Hey, what do you have to say about this?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know anything about the CRT thing. I just think if they're going to teach the history of America, whether it's good or bad, they should do it, and they're not teaching enough." And I agree with that. I don't think we teach a full history, but to teach someone that one person's skin color gives them more advantages over somebody else, that's bullshit. Yep. And no matter what, and she always she was trying to say it has to do with history. It has to do with how they. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I grew up poor as shit. Look, I'm not poor anymore. You know what I mean? And it wasn't because literally someday I'll let everybody know on some of the crap that I've gone through and put myself through in my life. I literally had everything going against me at one point. The only thing I wasn't was a black dude, but literally every other thing. And I was never a drug addict. I hate drugs. But literally every other thing that you could possibly imagine, from poverty to crime to being dumb to having no money to being homeless, I faced all those obstacles, and for people to always say, oh God, I can't. My kids are so educated now. I really want a teacher to say that you have white privilege to one of my kids, because they're gonna go nuts. Even the little one's gonna be like, oh, he's like, you want to talk about privilege? All right, this is what my dad went through. It's.
So do they do that though? Do the kids have you talked to them about what happens if they do go to school, and that's what's said to their face?
Yep.
And what did you tell them to say?
They immediately tell the teacher they're batshit crazy and ask to go to the principal's office and call me. Yeah,
I love it.
Immediately.
That's it.
I like that.
And that's it. Because we already know there's no arguing with them. The kids can't. I'm not. My kids are not. If a teacher tells my son, my older boy, that he's got he's got more opportunity than someone of color in the same demographic.
Pisses me off.
Well, just think about how bad that truly is. You're telling kids, young children,
exactly.
You're telling young kids that because of the color of their skin, they are going to have less opportunity growing up. Not that, hey, one day you can be president, which is the way we were raised.
Right.
That's the way I was raised. Our teachers didn't matter.
You can be president. You can be a firefighter. You could be whatever you want.
You could do whatever you want in life.
Yep.
And for some reason, it's the complete opposite. Like I said, I have a family friend that their 4th or 5th grade child last year had that, where the white privilege conversation came up. And that guy is a lot like me. And he called the school and he said, "What the fuck?" and the school was like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, no, you're not going to just give me some roundabout answer. I'm on my way to your office. You're going to tell me exactly what I need to hear now. And he did. And he went all the way in there and he goes, "You're moving my kid out of that class, first off, and that teacher should not be teaching anybody." And then it turns out it wasn't
part of.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. So the school actually took action.
Wow.
Nice.
The school actually, but they wouldn't. But that's an even bigger disconnect, because how do you not know what your teachers are teaching? You know what I mean?
That's true.
To be telling 3rd graders that
I know.
They should be thankful for their privilege. Privilege of what?
Making them feel ashamed of their nationality.
It's just,
that's something you can't take back from a kid too. Like once that's said to a child, that doesn't go away. Like at a certain age, that thought doesn't go away. Even as a parent, I think you can tell your kid as much as you want. You can try to like minimize it or diminish it or whatever you might do. But in the back of their mind, they're still thinking about that. They're still wondering, like, why? How am I supposed to really feel about this? Is what my dad says. This is what my mom says. What do I think? Like, what do I feel?
Yeah.
And they don't really know at that age. They don't know what to feel.
Right.
The thing about kids too is they're so impressionable. So when you tell someone, it's kind of like the story of when the elephant, when it was a baby and they tie a string around to put a little peg in the ground and they let it walk around. And as that elephant grows, it'll never try to pull that peg out. So if you continually tell a kid, especially that they cannot be someone and that they'll never be someone, they'll never try again to pull that peg out and move forward. And they won't. So it's a horrible thing to say you're good because you're white and you'll never amount to anything because you're different. It's so weird.
Here's the thing that I just don't understand when you actually think about it. Are they not teaching kids exactly what they want people to stop doing?
Absolutely. Exactly. They're perpetuating the narrative.
They're perpetuating that
narrative.
It's sad, man. And I've had for everyone that doesn't know, my wife is a teacher. That's what she does for a living. We've had that conversation too. And I say, what will you do if you get some order, from your school that says you have to teach that? And her simple answer, which is a non-answer, is that, I get to pick my own curriculum. So I'm not at that, and I'm like, okay, so what would you do if they say you have to do this? And she's like, well, we get to pick. She's like, well, I'll teach the history. Our history, that's taught in schools doesn't teach enough about slavery, which I agree. It doesn't, but again, what demographic are you going to teach, in details, things about slavery to 4th and 5th graders? Or are you going to wait until high school? Or are you going to teach in college? Are you going to teach? I mean, here's the thing is that's not what they're teaching though. Right. They are literally teaching someone that you are not going to have any opportunity because you happen to not be white, or that you are white and you have more opportunity, so you should feel bad about that opportunity.
That sucks, man.
And that's what they're teaching. And the biggest, and you know what the funny thing is, I talk to my, when I do mention it to my wife and try to, cut through the liberal bullshit, She says that it's something that a lot of the teachers, and a lot of the Facebook groups and stuff like that, these teachers are all asking the very same questions we are. They're all doing it because there's a huge portion of teachers that, they're pro everything, BLM, all that, blah, 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 but they disagree with that whole, privilege and all that stuff, which is, it's frightening to know that there's teachers out there that are just so uncomfortable to speak out. Loudoun County, Virginia, they don't do that. Tomorrow's a school board meeting in Loudoun County. I'm so tempted to just go down there and just record because last week, well, it's close. It's literally an hour. I'm you never know. Maybe I will, but maybe I will.
You got the 4 modems now. You're modemed out now. You should be able to get a nice feed out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I may, everyone is saying do it, so maybe I will. Who knows?
Yes, do
it.
I gotta go get a weed
Everyone
whacker
loves a
from my
juicy
brother.
school board meeting.
I mean, the thing is, I'm only going to get the outside. What happened last time, right? The last time the school board meeting, I don't know if they meant. I don't know. Everyone said do it, so fine, I'll do it.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
I'll go tomorrow and film. If there's a school board meeting, I don't know if there is yet, because it could be like once a month or twice a month or something. But someone is calling me repeatedly. But I am I'm doing a show, so I can't. And I know who it is too, so hopefully they're okay. But let me send them a text
talked
message.
about the Bush tweets today?
No, go for it.
All right, so I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this because, I read this today and I couldn't believe that I read this. Her tweet was, when they say that the 4th of July is about American freedom, remember this: the freedom they're referring to is for white people. The land is stolen and black people still aren't free. That was her.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
I mean,
it makes you want to vomit. Like, just the stuff that they put out there. Really, I'm not free. You're talking about me, but black people aren't free. I'm not free.
You're not free.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't understand that comment at all, and it's just like you were saying in the school. It all comes back to the same thing. Is this what we're going to teach, that the 4th of July is not about independence? Because I think what this country was founded on was independence, and maybe it took us a little bit of time to really figure out how to do things the right way, but because of what we've done in this country and having that freedom for everyone and looking and going, hey, look, this slavery thing is wrong. We've got to change that. We're the ones who changed that. The rest of the world followed. Black people were not just slaves here. They've been slaves all over the world. But once that pressure started where there was a country like America that was free, so you should celebrate independence. It took us a little bit. It got us to that point, but you're freer here than anywhere else. And it's so weird. I don't know where all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that black people feel like they can't get IDs to vote. They can't go to a polling place.
But
not
they
smart
don't
enough to use computers. Like,
they don't think
and,
that.
and they say this.
They don't. I haven't heard a single black person that wasn't privileged like Cori Bush talking about being. I mean, here, Quincy. Newsflash, you happen to be a black man. Is it hard for you to get ID?
Oh man, I had to sometimes get on the bus and then maybe walk like 3 miles, in the snow, in the rain.
Do you know how to use a
white
laptop?
People give shoes at least to walk in.
Like, come on, man!
Stupid.
It's so dumb.
The only thing
I've never met anybody that feels like that they don't have the same opportunity.
The only thing that black people will care about, that complain about, really would be the police stuff. And that's because of different demographics or geographics across the United States, for the most part. You're talking about the Midwest, where there's 40% black people. They might have some issues there versus other places. But on a national big level, they're not talking about all these stupid, silly things that people are talking about. And here's the thing: when do we start celebrating the victories that we've had in America instead of going back and being all depressed and sad about what we didn't have 50, 60 years ago or whatever? When do we start celebrating what we do have as far as Americans or black people in general?
Hey, hold on.
All right.
Yeah. Quincy, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. I mean, realistically, that's what people have been doing. They've been going backwards. We're trying to go backwards and complain about the history and using the past history to make it relevant somehow. Like we haven't progressed or proceeded or moved, got over things, got over hurdles. I mean, I had a speech yesterday in Creswell, Oregon, and that was part of my speech. Martin Luther King and that whole era of the civil rights, that was a victory. Why are we going back? Why are we almost feeling like we're in worse shape now than they were? That's what's crazy to me. And I know Steve has me just kind of like stuck on the picture because he got up and walked away. So you guys can just look at my beautiful face and let Scott and Adam talk.
Well, Quincy, I have a question for you, though. So, you take your opinion, though, is different from other black people, obviously. In the massive amount of black people that vote for the Democratic Party. You're part of an organization called Blexit, right?
Right.
And Blexit is because
it's more free
I follow
thinking.
Blexit a little bit. Right.
It's more free thinking.
So tell us a little bit about that, because that's what I want to know a little bit more about. What is the message that you guys are really trying to push with Blexit, and how successful is that going to awakening people really to what the Democrats are trying to do?
I don't know how successful it's going, to be honest with you. I'm not saying it's not successful. I'm just not at that level to know how successful it's going. But what it is, I mean, it's Candace Owens, it's her organization, and Brandon Tatum's, and it's just to educate, especially the black culture, of the true history of things. And where it comes down to the Democratic Party being the ones who were the slave owners, being the ones like Joe Biden wanting to lock black men up for the minute crimes. He's smoking weed. I mean, I don't smoke weed, but I'm saying in comparison to other things, we're going to put someone for smoking weed away in prison for 60 years. And now once they get out, they don't know what to do with their life. And that was targeted toward black people. 94 crime bill, all that type of stuff, so it's educating black people. I mean, even like the word Uncle Tom. Well, do you guys know who Uncle Tom was? You know what he did? But yet people like myself, Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, we're called the Uncle Toms, like it's a disgraceful thing. And so within the black culture, they've had, I mean, and this don't necessarily have to do with white people. This has to do with a black culture thing, because there is animosity within black culture toward each other because of past history things regarding slavery and regarding, okay, well, this black person was he was inside while we had to sleep in the fields. He licked the boot. He was respectful, yet we couldn't sleep in the house. So then you have this animosity toward black people. You're better than me based off, even skin color or tone,
And it still happens today, even with lighter skinned blacks, darker blacks. I mean, it happens all the time throughout that entire community where they turn on each other at same time. And it's a weird scenario. And it drives me nuts that some of these people don't see how stupid the liberals really think they are, that they can't have a computer, or they can't figure out how to vote, or they don't have cars, or like, it's just so weird. And
well, that's what Stacey Abrams wants you to think.
Yeah.
Stacey Abrams is out here in Georgia telling everybody right now that black people can't get to,
she doesn't even
polling locations.
She's not even a real politician.
Wait! Isn't Stacey Abrams the one who still refuses to concede that she lost the election?
Yes. She's also the one. She's also the one that has $1.4 million worth of homes, yet has over $200,000 worth of campaign finance debt. Interesting. Interesting. Sorry, Scott. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this is exactly what it sounds like. This is exactly what it is. We have people like that who's not a political candidate, who's using a platform that she somehow got, who the fuck knows how, to push that narrative even further, to do the exact work that you guys are doing at Blexit. She's just trying to undo every little bit of it.
Yeah.
Well, there's this whole little clique of people in the Senate too. When you look at AOC and Omar and Corey, and you see all these people and hear what and you hear what they're talking. This is what the agenda is. This is the agenda they're trying to push. This is why we joke and call Biden the HPIC. There's a lot of other people pulling strings in this party, and they want to create that fear and that division among all Americans. And they're, look, I've said it before. They're smart. They're smart the way they're doing it. It's working. It's working. They've divided this country quicker than anyone else in history. They're destroying this country, and they're distracting us with bullshit. Sorry, I had a curse, but they're distracting us with this bull left and right. And these people are falling for it, and they're not looking into the big issues, how it's going to hurt them in the long run.
But it's not a new thing. This has been going on since Obama.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's just amped up. It's so.
My thing is,
Steve?
what is the end game? Oh yeah, and whoever's trying to like f with my phone and prank call me and shit, I found you, sucker. So did the sheriffs. Actually, they're the ones who just called, assholes. Anyway.
I love Steve.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Don't you understand that when someone does this for a living, that we automatically call the sheriff's department and we put a little thing on record saying that we're a social media guy, so when you try to swat us, it doesn't work, you stupid shitbirds.
Oh, did they try to swat you? Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah, I think they were getting ready to, but so when we figured it out.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, that's always I don't like when they do that, but now they just call me. They're like, "Hey, did you murder your wife?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Got it. See ya."
Well, see, it's funny because I had 2 missed calls and then I had another missed call. I Googled the third missed call. It was the sheriff's department. I call the sheriff's department, speak to a dispatcher, and then they're like, "Oh, we just got a call about this. Are you sure?" And I said, "Yep, there's already something on file. We are fine. Here's my wife." Like, stop fucking with me.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. And just so everyone understands, we are talking about politics here, and people resort to doing that kind of stuff. For anyone that thinks that we're not in an effed up country right now, and we are like, if that's not a case in point, I don't know what could possibly be, dude. I really just don't understand it. It's such a waste of time and resources.
I like what Ted Cruz tweeted back to her, by the way. I could read that to you, too. It says, "Hateful, divisive lies. The left hates America. Believe them when they tell you this." 2 years ago, Colin Kaepernick tried to spread the same lies on July 4th. I responded with the wisdom of the great abolitionist Frederick Douglass. So, and then he added a whole thing about the history of July 4th and what Frederick Douglass had talked about through his stuff.
Are you talking about AOC's comment? I may have missed it.
No, he was talking about Cory Bush's. He was talking about Cory Bush's.
AOC said something today about white supremacy as well. I heard. I was like changing through channels, and they're like AOC today. I was like, nope, I'm just not even doing it.
She's not even really Puerto Rican. Like, she's not even really Puerto Rican. Man. So
what nationality is she, Adam?
She's a New Yorker. She's not. She's a New Yorker. She's not a Puerto Rican. She's just a New York.
She's a POS. That's what it is. Piece of shepherds. God damn.
Yeah, I parked my Tesla in front of the Whole Foods illegally in Manhattan, right there. Just park it right out front. I don't care.
So weird. So
She's
bad.
like, mi abuela is down in Puerto Rico. Her roof's falling in. No one wants to help her. No one. Damn grandma.
Well, that's a funny thing. They post that, and then one conservative commentator ends up setting up a GoFundMe. They raise $112,000, and then AOC forces the grandmother to say, "We're not going to accept that." Like what the hell?
The grandmother, I wonder why. What are you, crazy? Yeah,
I know.
That's ridiculous.
It's so weird. It's so weird what goes on in our country all the time. And it's not even weird anymore. It should just be concerning to everybody. Like I see, Quincy, it's been a while since I've talked to you, besides on the phone. I see something different in your eyes today. I think you're now like, you know what?
You're exhausted.
I mean, besides the exhaust, I think I see like, that point.
It is that big tech frustration.
Oh, Scott didn't hear.
Free anymore. What time do they come get you and not let you do this radio show anymore?
Right. Well, they already came after me on Facebook, so my Facebook's gone.
I can't believe that. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I am frustrated because I've been saying this for a year, Steve. And you've had your opinions. We've all had our opinions. Like when is it enough, and what do we do? And just like Steve is saying, if you can't see the state of our nation, of our country, we are in bad shape. But what's it going to take? And that's where I'm at. What's it going to be? What's going to be the final straw? I don't know. And
then what, though? And then what?
Right, and then what?
What? I know everyone's holding out hopes that Donald Trump is going to take office again in August. Guess what? That's a Democratic lie. It's not real. It's fake. It's just another way for them to instill fear in everybody else. That's the only reason that they're saying it.
Okay, that's the only reason. Right. Even if Donald Trump takes office, right? Donald Trump takes office in August or 2024. how much is it going to change the country? We were still divided during Trump.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, that's just being frank and blunt. We were still divided. Trump still, people, especially patriots and conservatives, they're against the vaccine. They're against the Pope. But guess what? Trump was still pushing it. We were still divided. Conservatives and patriots are still divided within their own selves.
Right.
We are seriously in bad shape, and I don't know what it's going to be. It's exhausting. Okay, check this out. Yesterday I did a speech. So the whole 80 million thing, you cut that down in half because conservatives, Republicans, patriots, everybody has excuses of why they can't do stuff, why they can't be active. So you take the 80 million, cut it down, 40 million, cut that down, 20 million. There's 392 metropolitan cities in the United States. Put 1,000 people in each of those cities. That's only 392,000 people. Yet you can't get 1,000 patriots that can consistently be active. Why?
Yeah. We've never been. I mean,
I don't know, man.
You know why? And now and look at the way the media is going after the January 6th stuff still. Every single day, there's some sort of article. You know why? Because they can just vilify everyone. Everyone that's wearing a hat like yours. Everyone that has a flag up on their wall. Everyone that wears that flag on their head, or everyone that looks like Scott, bald and white. They just have so many ways to vilify people now, regardless. And unless you're wearing Birkenstocks, smoking a joint while walking down the street, wearing a rainbow flag, with a fist in the air, you are the enemy. You know what I mean? You are the enemy.
Are we?
Hold on one second. Hold on one sec. Go ahead.
Here's where I think it needs to change, BCP, and this is what we need to really get the word out is that. We need to come together. There is no and in all honesty, yesterday was a big day. It was July 4th. And in all honesty, everywhere I went, everything I saw, people were together, having a good time, partying and celebrating Independence Day together. It didn't matter what color their skin was. So I don't think there's really as much division as there is. The hard part is getting that word out. I think that a lot of people of color now are getting sick and tired of being used as scapegoats. And that's why I think I'm seeing a little bit of a change. And 2024 is going to be a huge surprise to the Democrats. 2022, even a bigger surprise, because I don't think people are going to vote for him anymore. They see this division. They know it's there. Not all these people are out there protesting. There are other people staying home that are black, that are Latino, that are Asian, and are going, wait a minute. No, I don't agree with this. So I think you'll see it in 2022. I think the liberals are going to be really, really surprised.
When I was down in Sarasota over the weekend, I'd met, I can't tell you how many dozens of Hispanic people there for Trump. I met probably a dozen Hispanics alone that didn't even speak English there for Trump, right? Because they know what the deal is. And you're seeing these same thing with Filipinos, Vietnamese, Asians for Trump. Huge turnout at that Trump rally. I mean, so the reality is you're right, Scott, that the division, yes, it's there, but it's caused by what we see on the media, mass media every day, what CNN is putting out there, what MSNBC is putting out there. Shit, the show The View that comes on ABC every morning, people love that show. And what is that entire show? It's all about division. They have a Republican conservative politician, and they destroy them, right?
So what do you do to break that narrative? It's one of the things I was talking about when I was driving back, and I listened to that CNN, 2-hour special on Friday that was just bashing Trump in every single thing that he ever did, and just saying that he's a white supremacist and calling each one of you, anyone who supports him. Now, and just so, because I know we have people in this chat that are just like, oh, these guys are all Trump supporters. We're Americans, okay? And usually when you're casting a vote, this is the way I think about it. To be honest, I'm not the biggest Trump fan, but personally, I think what he did for this country and what he could do for the country is amazing. And if he just fucking got off Twitter, the majority of this shit would have never happened if he wasn't on Twitter. Yep. That's my firm belief on this. But it's not about Trump. Yeah, granted, one of us is wearing a Trump hat here. It's we're not it's not about Trump taking office in the future or anything. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what needs to happen in order for us to get ourselves on the right track. And unfortunately, I don't know. I mean, with all the election stuff, I don't even know whether 2022 is even, I don't know. I say that a lot. I'm going to make a shirt that just says, I don't know anymore, because I have no idea.
I personally,
2022 could.
Go ahead,
2022 is not soon enough.
Hold on. Quincy, he's been trying.
Okay.
Okay. What's going to make the change? What's going to happen, right? I personally don't think it's going to go back to a conservative president. I personally don't think so. Because we have to keep in mind how powerful hate is. Hate is a very powerful tool. Mm-hmm. It places people into fear, and that's where we are at in America. And that's why we do not see conservatives, patriots, Republicans really standing up, because of the fear. That's why people didn't show up in California or in LA on Saturday, because of fear. Who places a fear out there? Mainstream media, movies, music. That's the driving force, and we can't take that down. I don't see us taking that down unless there's some billionaire conservatives who just want to dump money. Yeah, I don't see it happening.
And because if you think about what we're doing here and what everyone else is doing, is we're just finding ways to communicate, finding ways to get our voice out, finding ways to do it, but it doesn't actually solve the problem. You know what I mean? It solves our immediate problem, like the app that I'll show in a little bit. Yeah, it's great. And it solves our problem of being censored on social media, but it doesn't help us get out there and get more people to be able to hear and see what we're saying. Because here's the beauty of it, and I always say this about our chat, I don't care if you agree with us. In fact, I would prefer people that don't watch the show more, just so they understand, because it's not what CNN says. It's not what MSNBC or Joy Behar or any of these idiots out there. It's not what they're saying. That's not what's really going on. I am not a white supremacist, moron that's, doing all the stuff that CNN says we are, just because we happen to vote for Trump. And Quincy's not a bad guy, or any of the horrible names that they've called him over the past year is simply because he voted for Trump. And Adam and Scott are the same way. We're just opinionated Americans that still believe, maybe wrongly, that the First Amendment should be a protected speech, and we should be able to talk about what's wrong in this country without having to worry about being censored or kicked off.
Okay, I'm going to say something, because people keep getting on to me about this, and I just saw someone in the chat again. I've been saying that conservatives are afraid, okay, and I'm not going to back down from that. Again, if we want to sit here and use the numbers of 80 million people, then I should at least be able to see 300,000 people consistently out fighting. If it's school boards, flag waves, political stuff, there should be a consistent thing going on, just like Antifa has pushed their stuff. Okay, if everybody has jobs, which I understand, just like myself, 40 hours a week with 8 children, a wife, and I can still be as active, there's no excuses why there can't be patriots who show up to D.C. for a million mega march, that there can't be a million patriots across the nation in your cities doing stuff actively, consistently, and pushing back against the system.
It's too easy for people.
We hear it all the time. I hear it from people all over the country that they don't want to go out. They're scared to go out.
They're scared to go out.
When you and I went to Ohio, you and I did, Quincy, about a month and a half ago.
How many patriots showed up?
Okay,
not
well,
many.
I have a
suggestion.
No. I have a suggestion. If you're afraid to go out, here's what you do. You go and support businesses that support Trump or support some of the ideas that you believe in. You go out, you start helping MyPillow. Go buy MyPillow. Go buy some of these conservative things. Make corporations know that you're not going to cancel them, that they're not going to get canceled if they don't agree with the far left. And as soon as these companies start making money again and they start putting money back into the economy, because they can't be afraid. They can't be afraid of the far left and their lies anymore. So let's go start supporting them. If you're not going to get out on the street, start supporting them. That way, the media will change, because they're going to want the advertising dollars, and it will help as well. So there's other ways to do it.
There is other ways to do it. And listen, you guys, I've had people testimony. I watch your guys' comments. I've had people tell me over and over and over, I'm afraid to lose my job. I'm afraid I'll be doxxed. I had a man tell me 2 weeks ago on a Friday evening at a flag wave in Oregon City that he was afraid as a man, to come out and wave an American flag on the side of the road with a group of people. Stop telling me that conservatives are not afraid.
That's why people were upset with Mark Zuckerberg, because he had an American flag, and that all of a sudden means something different to people for some weird reason. That has replaced the flag of hate for some reason, and it's disgusting to me that they treat our flag like that.
Yep. And that's because of the media. That's what it is. It's the media. It's entertainment. It's sports people. I told some gentlemen yesterday, where a group of people, embrace the names that they call you. Okay, you're white supreme. Okay, roll with it. You're this. You're that. Who cares? Because they're going to continue to say anything. And I'm going to go biblical for a second. Look at the things they said to Jesus.
Right.
Roll with it. Embrace it.
I've said it for a while.
Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words may never hurt you, right?
They hurt you. Period. Hands down. Hands down. Yep.
It's sad. And I don't know. I don't know, man. I think it's funny when people, especially, some of the chatters, because the people that are sitting, saying, well, we can't go out or can't do that. Maybe some of them are just not able to physically go out and do those things. It's easier to sit and judge other people than it is to actually go out and do something. You know what I mean? It's easier to say you would go out and then not do it. And that's why, when I went out and covered what was happening in Staunton, there were people. I mean, one family drove all the way up from South Carolina to go there. And granted, it wasn't huge numbers. Maybe 10 or 15, people, fans of PT News came up. Right. But that is what matters. And then the next time it should be more, and the next time it should be more. And you know what? Because it draws enough attention. I know next week, I know that the story we wrote about with Nexus and all that, bigger outlets are going to be reporting on it. They've reached out. And that's why I do this. Going out to these events and it's not, you don't need to go out with the mindset that you're going to fight or that you're going to do this, because in all reality, you're not going to. That's why look at the Trump rallies. Look at the Trump rallies. You know why nothing's happening? Do you know why there isn't, shit going on at the rallies? Because there's tens of thousands of them.
Yes.
There's tens of thousands. So we can all say, well, no one's going to come, no one's going to be there. We can't go because, violence. They don't show up at these large gatherings because they're severely outnumbered. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. And even a good example is Beverly Hills. Remember the Beverly Hills flag waves?
Yes.
Quincy, you went down a couple of times. It wasn't even counter protesters. Sometimes they would show up. Antifa marched against them a couple of times, and Antifa was pushed away very quickly, and not by the protesters, by the police, because the police saw, we can't let this happen. Because, there were 150 Antifa and about 10,000, Patriots carrying flags. And the Patriots, even when Antifa was right there, they didn't do anything. The Patriots weren't, going out there. They were saying, hey, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk? Because that's what Americans do. They sit there and talk. But for some reason, everyone has it in their head that, the only thing that's going to happen is fight. And then oftentimes, the people that do show up, the few that do show up, they show up with that mentality. With the bear mace and spraying away and doing all that. That's not what it's about. To me, that's not an American way, just to sit there and just be like, well, I'm going to spray you in the face. No, it's the American way would be to sit and have conversation. And when you agree to disagree, at least you guys know when walking away without beating the shit out of each other that you heard the other person. You don't need to agree. You don't need to. The only thing is Quincy, when you talk to someone, and maybe you don't, but when I talk to someone in person and you go out to a lot of the protests, that's why I was saying it to you, you make eye contact, you wait for those gestures and those things to let you know that the person's hearing you. And the way they're talking back, they could always say, but you get those cues that they're actually listening and that they're processing what you're saying. That, to me, when I have those moments, that's when I'm like, okay, it's all worth it. It's all worth being out here and having someone, because they don't need to agree. The only thing they have to do is listen and hear what we're saying.
And even if they don't agree, just the point of I'm not gonna fight someone or sucker punch someone because they disagree with me. Who cares? It's their loss. Right. Walk away, move on. Right. You done beat a dead horse. I mean, it's done with. Move on.
But just like you said, if nobody shows up, then it's
all numbers. Like you said,
I've been saying it for a long time too, because. And I need to practice what I preach more, with more flag waves. And it's not just going to a protest. I mean, I'm in the news business. Right. That's what I'm doing. Is I wanted to go find out why paid actors were protesting. That's why I went to a protest. I also am a hothead. I'll be honest. I'm going to make a decision, with thinking about my kids. I'm not going to go to a place where I'm going to start beating the shit out of people, because like the conversations, like the things people say to Quincy when he's out there doing, there's no fucking way. There's no way.
No,
there's no way. Like, and the truth is, I have, when I go out, I talk to Adam, I talk to April, and I'm like, listen, if it looks bad, cut my feed, and that's it. Because
that's the truth, though.
Because I know myself, I'm not going to sit there and just go back and forth with someone, and I'm certainly not going to let anyone, say, super, like some of the shit that Quincy's had to endure, Yeah, I just can't do it. That's why I always say you're a man of God, and that's how you can deal with it. I've been dealing with the Antifa.
I've been dealing with the Antifa before they are a household name. I told this yesterday in the story when I was saying to people, I'm like, the Antifa is just a household name. A lot of patriots, they're new to the game. A lot of people came into this whole thing halfway through Trump. I've been dealing with this stuff when Obama was around. I've been dealing with the Antifa and the whole movement of the LGBTQ and all that, which is combined with BLM and the whole left agenda. I've been dealing with that stuff. So, I mean, it's nothing to me to endure some names or a little bit of pushback. Who cares?
Do you know what it is? And because you said patriots again, and I've started to hate that terminology and calling people patriots, because it's not about being a patriot anymore. It's about being an American. And here's your proof.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the 4th of July, and you have people that were turning, even today, people turn their backs on the flag, people that turn their backs on our veterans singing the national anthem, people that turn their backs and burn flags. There's a police officer, I forgot where it was, that stopped traffic in the middle of the road because he saw a flag that must have fallen out of the back of a truck. Stopped traffic on an interstate to pick up and fold that flag. Those are Americans. It's not being a patriot, it's being an American. And there's a lot of people in this country right now that simply do not like being Americans. So now it's not about going out and protesting because you're a patriot. It's about showing that you're an American and that you value what's the good and the bad of our country. Because no one's pretending like the country is good. You know what I mean?
And this summer's important too. We have the Olympics coming up, and so there's kind of a national pride there. I want to see how Americans kind of react towards that, because when you say things like that, and when you see like the American flag being burned or spit on or their backs turned to it, even a lot of the people who are on the left, not the far left love it, but the people on the left, they don't want to see that. They don't want to see the flag getting burned. They still love this country. They may not love a lot of the social issues. That's part of the problem with the whole left, by the way. It's always feelings over facts for them. So a lot of them feel socially kind of drawn to that left, but they still love this country too much to watch the flag get destroyed. So I think that kind
they don't, because it's the same thing when people say, well, how come patriots aren't going out or people aren't going out to protest? How come the people that don't believe in that aren't stopping it? How come they're not speaking up and saying that's unacceptable?
They're afraid to speak up. They are afraid of this weird woke mob that literally is just a bunch of little brats and bullies that no one's kind of just saying, hey, just stop. Because I'll tell you right now, there's a lot more people who are like us in the mind that enough's enough. This is too much. There's not as much division as you really believe in this country. That's being told to you by the media. That's being told to you by a certain amount of politicians. And there are a lot of people like that. But again, just like we're afraid to kind of go out there, they're kind of afraid to approach those bullies too.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I saw one comment on YouTube where someone was talking about what happened last night in Philly. Those are not Americans or patriots either. Okay, no. So the 150 white supremacists that marched, they're on the same level, if not lower, than Antifa in my book. Okay, and that's the brunt of it. And that group always shows up all the time, and that's what they do. And you know what? The city of Philadelphia said, fuck that. And they got to him before the police could. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, why is it the people that are standing up are the ones that are either the bad ones or the people that are made out to be the bad ones? How come it's not anybody else? That's
because they don't have fear. They don't have that fear. They don't have those. Yeah. They don't fear losing their jobs. They don't fear losing. They are out there with what they believe, just like the far left is out there with their socialistic ideas. They won't change their minds. They'll still say the things they want no matter what. Antifa too. So they're just not afraid. They're just not afraid. Give them that credit at least.
But that's where we have to be. I mean, everybody talks about 1776. Especially on the conservative side, 1776. Well, 1776, them men were not afraid. We can't be afraid of losing our jobs. I mean, it comes down to a point where you're going to have to count the cost. You're either in or you're out. And that's the way our country's going. Yeah. That's just where it's going. It's not, I keep saying it's not going to get better. I don't think it's going to get better, but hopefully I'm wrong. I don't see it getting better.
Well, it's going to have to get better at one point because there's always a time in the world that you start to realize that we're all going to come together. And I'll be honest right now, the way China and Russia and everybody's kind of lining up against us and just kind of looking at us and laughing as we kind of fall apart and implode as a country, the more like we start getting attacked and we have things like these gas lines going down because of Russian hackers or Chinese hackers, I think the country will start coming together. It's got to happen at one point. I hope but I feel the same way you do, BCP. I'm like, man, I can't say no to anything that may happen anymore. I mean, I've lived through a pandemic now. I'm living through a weird race war that I never even saw coming. It's just strange. I thought everything was getting better slowly in this country. I know not everybody's perfect. I know there are bad cops out there, but I know there are a lot more good cops out there. I'm not seeing it the same way everybody else is. I guess I'm just not tricked into it. I don't know. So I feel the same way you do, BCP, about this at times. Like, maybe it just never will go away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm just saying from what I see, and that's just being out on the street,
Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks that Donald Trump can come back into office. He could come back in tomorrow. I got news for you guys. This shit doesn't go away. The shit doesn't stop.
If anything, going on
you guys thought we had protests?
Yeah.
You thought we had Yeah, you thought we had protests last year? Put Donald Trump in office right now. Put him in office
right in the middle of all this.
See who hits the fucking streets tomorrow and who riots tomorrow. They'll burn every major city down in this country. Mark my words. That's what would happen, dude. These people stop at nothing. Remember in 2015, Donald Trump comes down the escalators. The very next day, there were people out in the streets holding signs in front of Trump Plaza saying Donald Trump's a white supremacist. It literally took them less than 24 hours to go by Kmart and pick a poster board. So it's not going to go away. There is no immediately fixing this. I think you guys are right. I told somebody earlier today that I was scared to say this out loud, but fuck it, I'll say it right now. I don't think there's a way you can fix American culture the way it is right now. You can't fix this. This is something that these kids that are 19, 20, they're going to continually feel like this forever. Like, you know how in your 20s you're rebellious and blah, blah, blah. In your 30s you grow up and you start respecting authority and all this stuff. Yeah, I don't see these people doing any of that because you have to remember half of these Antifa members are over 30. Some of them are in their 40s and 50s and 60s,
jobs,
right?
And they have jobs, folks.
And they have jobs.
Right.
They don't get canceled from. They leave their jobs and they go to protests. And guess what? They tell their job, oh, you don't want me to go protest? Fuck you. Yep. Sorry for my language. This is ridiculous.
To be honest, the Antifa ones aren't even the biggest threat as much as they want to be. No. They're not the biggest threat. The teachers unions that are pushing this radicalized agenda. The teacher union in their bulletin that they issued, the NEA, and I sent it to my wife. I can't wait till I finish this show and to try to figure out what she thinks about that. But they're doing they're actually
everybody to tune out now.
Yeah,
make sure you live stream it, Steve. Make sure you live stream it,
dude. I said just once we should do a show. She and I a debate on it live on the air. Be a fucking amazing. She'll never do it. She would never do it. You know, right after that, it's the divorce papers probably. But
oh man, my wife can help you out with that. It's okay.
I also think this will start to kind of slow down too when we stop giving money away for free and people actually have to go back to work and people have to find these jobs, because once we cut that off and the $300 a week and where they're making more money staying at home and going and causing this kind of trouble, I think you'll start to see it slowly slip away. And because remember when all this started, like when it really started getting big, they were already, people were not having to go to work. They weren't getting money. We were in the middle of a pandemic. I think slowly, if we cut off that supply, and that's what I love what we're doing here in Georgia, they want to cut down the money. You're not going to get the money anymore from the state. If we cut that money out, people will start changing. I really believe that too.
Starting next week in Georgia, Scott. So on that subject, just a little inside news. Starting next week in Georgia, if you are on unemployment, you now have to start actually searching for work. So before this entire pandemic, so for a year and a half, you could apply for unemployment. You didn't have to look for a job. You didn't have to apply for a job. You didn't have to show up for an interview because nobody ever checked. Now they're making people go back to do that. So you're right. I bet you we see a lot of this stuff stop because people have to get back to work. They have to support their family, and you can't go out and protest when you have to go to work.
Wait, you can. Here's something new, because you know what the new thing. There was an article that was put out today.
Well, that's not what Patriots tell me, Quincy. I know Patriots tell me they can't go out all the time because they got to go to work.
But why? You got 16 extra cents to be able to go out with. Like you save 16 cents on the 4th of July. There's so much money. Our country's doing so fucking well. We have what is it? 7 million people unemployed. But here's the funny thing is the Democrats now, you know what the newest push is? You guys are going to start really seeing it in the news over the next week. You know what it is? Mm-hmm. Now everyone's talking about how it's a job market. So everyone can go out. All the people that were working the cheap jobs now are getting paid premiums. Biden even said it himself. Well, now companies need to compete to, it's fair market. They have to compete to get employees and all this stuff. You know what ends up happening? All the financial forecasters are saying within 4 months, it's all done. The economy is going to come back enough. The restaurants are going to come back enough. So the restaurants are going to start cutting all these people that they have to pay. So you know what Democrats are doing now? They're pushing to unionize. Today was the first article where they're pushing to just have everyone unionize because you can't fire them if they're union. You have to do collective bargaining and all that stuff. You can't fire anybody. So now I just saw the first article today and I'm like, holy shit, this is the plan. Because now they have all these people that are getting in. It's a job market. Any one of you that's if you were looking for a job right now is the best time to go out and get a job, just like it is to sell a house. Dairy
Queen's hiring managers for $18 an hour. You can go manage a Dairy Queen, serve up soft serve in Blizzards for $18 an hour. That's a fucking good gig, bro.
I know someone that has very little managerial experience or anything, and he is now a regional manager for a fast food restaurant. Never worked in fast food in his life, and he's got a salary package better than any salary I've ever had. But with a corporate company. And he's never, he was a truck driver. And I'm not shitting on him. I know you watch the show. I'm sorry. But you don't deserve that job. You're not qualified enough for the job. But the reason, and you may be great at that job. But when you look from, I'm an employer. I look at it from that standpoint. I know they needed someone to fill that job and to check those boxes. In 3 or 4 months, you're going to find yourself out of a job. And I could tell from just being an employer. I could tell from how much they're paying you versus what the job should actually pay, and we have that.
Not only are you going to see that though, like you said, not only, even if you go back to AOC's tweet, whatever she tweets on, you'll see her talking about that right away about we need to unionize. We need to make sure that our employees are protected. She's already been writing about it too. Here's what they want though. And this is why I think that
hold on. Someone said dishwashers in California are being paid $24 an hour.
Stop it. Dude, I do that all day. What are we doing here?
Hey, you wouldn't take that though. You wouldn't take $24 an hour in California is like $8 an hour in Georgia.
True.
Right.
You know.
Well, here's what I was saying too is that what they want to pass now is, now that you've been getting this $300, we're cutting it off, but they're going to force these corporations. That's why they're going with this minimum wage needs to be $15 an hour. They have all these employers trying to spend money, put it out. Well, you were able to put out that money. You were able to give $200 signing bonuses, $2,000 signing bonuses. So go for that $15 an hour minimum wage. Raise it up. Let's get it up there. It's all part of a plan. I truly believe that. They're going
to do that, and then what's going to happen? They'll raise taxes on all these corporations. They're going to raise taxes on every single one of these corporations. Yeah, and what's going to happen ultimately is the price of goods.
Throw the housing market and all the companies buying up all these single family homes. When you really think about everything that's going on, and this is over a 5-month period, like this is when it really starts, getting bad. I feel like, Quincy, I feel bad. I think we're scared the shit out of you.
No, you're not. I'm waiting for it all to happen. I know it's going to happen. All this stuff. I'm like, I'm just watching.
Watch, because all these houses are, you know what they're being bought by? They're being bought by Chinese corporations. They're coming in buying land, and they're corporations that do hospitality and apartments and living. So what they'll do is they're going to start renting out all these houses because they're buying them now. They're buying them as quick as they can. As soon as it crashes, they're going to buy the rest of them. And then all the companies that got hurt when they said you can't evict people for not paying anymore, all of them are going to make their money back somehow, and they're going to do it by renting out these places for crazy numbers. It's going to be ridiculous.
It'll actually change the housing market and what people are paying for single family homes in a rental market. I agree wholeheartedly with you, Scott. They're buying up these homes at exponential rates. You can't find a house.
We're forgetting some very important things. Crime rates are through the roof right now. There were 400 shootings in the past 72 hours. 400 shootings in the over 150 people killed in the past 72 hours. Don't forget, there was 180,000 people that got caught trying to cross our southern border last month.
Yeah, what? What are you talking about? No,
a lost world.
Biden, I thought Biden gave them all green cards by now.
No, he wants to. That was his new thing. He wants to find a quicker pathway for citizenship for them.
Just come in, tell us your name. We'll give you a green card. Just write it down on there.
Right down.
Just write your name.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Let me get a little sniff of the ear real quick, and you can be a green card here. Yeah. Here's your green card.
So over there, you were a cartel member. Over here, not anymore. Come on in.
Let me whisper in your ear.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on.
The whispering. Jesus Christ. It is just like someone just wrote. They said it's getting crazier every day. Why isn't there coverage? So you think? Because we try to do it, and the funny thing is, if you actually listen to Fox News now, like the other day they had some. I was listening to it in my truck with my wife, and I said, "What is this Fox? Is this Fox News or why? It sounds like CNN." Because of the commentators that they had on, which it surprised the shit out of me, because they were like, even the commentator was like, well, yeah, that's one way to look at it. No, they were talking about some radicalized shit about anti-American stuff. Like, that's not, if you consider yourself to be an American news outlet, you shouldn't ever be promoting that. Any anti-American stuff, no matter what. You can, because you can't be, at least I can't be unbiased when it comes to that. The flag. There's no way. It's I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Tammy Welch said so much for a positive show tonight. What do you mean? This is positive. We're actually telling you what's really going on.
Motivation.
It's motivating you to make sure you start taking all that money.
Hey, Tammy. That's me.
It's where you
I got
start,
a crush on Tammy.
It's where you start taking all that money and hiding it under your mattress and stuff like that. You got a crush on everyone, bro.
That's true.
Okay, so someone has a question. Lost then found. What is the biggest problem in America in all of our views? I'll start with mine. The biggest problem I personally think, and I'm only coming from a biblical point of view, is we don't have the fear of God in America like we used to once have. So move on. Go ahead, Scott, Adam, Steve.
I'll go last.
I'll go next. I agree with you, and that's one. But just to be a little bit different right now, I think it's the division in this country that's being created by our government, by our leaders, and the fact that they think that they can control us. Like, I really feel controlled in this country for the first time in my life, whether I can go out of my house or not, whether I can wear a mask in public, and everything they've dictated to us over the past 2 years, the government is becoming so socialistic to me. That's the scariest part in America right now. They created division. They did exactly what they wanted to do, and they're on an agenda to control Americans.
That's really good, Scott. I agree with both of those things. And I think that to even take it a step further, our biggest problem we face is that it's kind of two-parted. We don't have enough people willing to reach across the aisle. We don't have enough people willing to communicate, willing to talk, willing to understand that it's okay to be different and have a difference of opinion. And then you take that even a step further. We don't have anybody that's willing to even go out and speak. Our First Amendment rights are being crushed everywhere we go. And you could say, yeah, big tech this, big tech that. And they're right. They're silencing all of us. And I think that that's a big problem we face.
Adam, I really thought you were going to say the biggest problem was you weren't allowed to use a women's bathroom. I would have gotten that wrong. I've been wrong.
I knew something was coming.
But it depends on what state I can go to.
Wait for it.
It depends on what state I go to.
Pull up like a blow-up doll or something right next to him or something. I'm just waiting for something.
Oh, man.
I know. He's looking around. He's like, how do you know I have one?
He's like, I got something over here.
It is. I got my little friends. I got all my friends.
I think, just like Scott said, I think that the most critical the critical issue that we face here in America is divisiveness. I think that'll be the end. It's what causes every single war. You know, just people just fighting over nonsense and people being so closed-minded they're not going to listen to it because and the way the liberals or the way the left is doing it, I won't even say liberal. The way the left is doing it is strategic because it's not just trying to push a narrative, it's trying to push a narrative and a divide because they know that they can push a narrative and if we are unified on the right, that narrative goes nowhere.
Yep.
But what they're doing now is it's so strategic because they're taking the narrative and kind of filling that, and then they're fracturing our party, and that's why I'm scared about what's going to happen in 2022 because if we are politically as dysfunctional then as we are right now, what the hell can we expect to have happen? Because half of our Republicans and look at it every day. It's Rhino this, Rhino that, this person that. We are not unified at all from the right at all. And that's all by design. So this divisiveness is the biggest threat because ultimately, if it's not repaired, it will lead inevitably, maybe 20 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever, it'll lead to what it always does. And that is utter and complete destruction of our country and everything we hold dear. That's my personal opinion. Kind of more.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and it's funny. It's funny because you did see a little bit of division with Liz Cheney and, of course, you know, all her little friends. And there are about 10 of them in there right now that you really have to question who they're going to vote with, you know, when they're voting on laws. But I do feel like that party is coming back together, but you're right. We're still fractured. That's a fractured party. And there's actually, you know, 2 to 3 different parties now. There's the Republican Party, and then there's who support Trump and will still be with Trump and are staying loyal to the party itself. Then there's like that little fraction that's kind of the rhinos, like you said. And then there's the libertarians. We need to get a lot of those back to kind of that conservative value. We really either need to bring those 3 parties back together to kind of get back into more of a GOP or 2022 can be scary. I do think, though, that people are starting to come out and realize like it's got to stop soon. It's got to stop. We're not getting anywhere in this country. Nothing's happening.
Can I? Yeah, but what's going to be that thing that throws people over the edge to be like, hey, like because I was thinking about it with the CNN thing. I keep mentioning it because it was the worst piece of journalism I've ever seen in my life. That CNN 2-hour feature they had on Friday about Trump. It was literally all lies. And then they ended it by saying, like, if you really want truthful, factful, reporting, tune to CNN next time or something. And I'm like, you literally just lied for 2 hours. Every single thing. They edited Trump's speech on the Capitol. They literally lied about everything.
Well, that's because everything's opinion-based now. It's not even news anymore.
Right, but the thing is, I listened to Fox News the entire day the next day. Not a fucking word. Not a word.
No.
They didn't. Because here's the thing. I can go up, right now, there's 1,300 people watching on social, probably another couple of grand on the apps and all that stuff that we have watching, plus all your channels, because we're live there as well. So we have a big audience. I don't have a Fox News audience. I can't get up and say, listen, or a Tucker Carlson audience and say, did you see what CNN did? Like, I'm going to play something for you. And this is the easiest way you could disprove them so quick by saying, this is what CNN played. Play a 10-second clip, and then you could say, this is what Donald Trump actually said, and play the 12-second clip. Because they only cut out one word. Right. That one word changes everything. They cut out where he said, we're going to march to the Capitol peacefully. That's what he said. And they cut it out, and they said, we are going to march to the Capitol, and I will be there with you. Because he says, we'll march to the Capitol peacefully, and I will be there with you. They literally just cut out one word. And nobody calls them out on it. And the only people that do are like people like us, social media guys. And it's valuable to have so many people watching. But that's why it's so important for us not to be censored, us not to have our platforms removed because we say something that someone doesn't like, or they think that, or demonetized, because that's the whole reason you demonetize them, is just to get rid of them. It's just to be like, oh, well, you're not going to be able to do this. Maybe you'll go join that liberal job market right now or something. You know what I mean? That's the push for it. It's
so let me ask you this question then, based on that and what they do to Trump and how they kind of control, especially now that social media is so big and there's a whole new dynamic to media in general. So, and I know people are going to really freak out about this in the chats, but when do you say, hey, we kind of have to figure some way to keep Trump quiet in the social media area, and still, like, when do you separate from Trump for the bigger picture? So let's say we know that they're just going to continually tell these lies and it's going to influence any kind of voting, because people don't want to vote for Trump because they think he's a racist. They think he's a xenophobe. They think he's a homophobe. They think whatever they want to think about him. When do you have to say, hey, let's push somebody else and have Trump in the background? When do we get to that point?
There's only one person that can do that, and that's Trump himself. And to be honest, the reason why I like him and the reason why I voted for him is because I think that when the time is right, he'll do it. Frankly, I don't understand why he hasn't done it already. Because think about it. If DeSantis said he would run, or one of these other people that are out there that, I mean, shit, all the people on the right, you think Trump was bad, wait till someone like DeSantis. Because I always say, like, you think it's bad now, you don't want people like us running for office. DeSantis is like us. He's that way. And he's going to do it, and he's going to not take any shit back, just like Donald Trump did, and that's why they hated him so much.
There's a big difference between Trump and DeSantis. DeSantis doesn't have the schmear campaign that Trump has. They don't have the quote unquote right, but they don't have a fake Russian dossier. They don't have any of that shit to throw at Trump or throw at DeSantis like they did with Trump. And that's what I was going to ask you guys before we go. Who is it not better? And let me ask you this, because Scott and I have talked about this off air a couple times. Is it not better to pick a guy like DeSantis, who we know they can't dig up anything, and we know that Trump could get behind? So DeSantis is going to get every Trump voter, and he's going to get every voter that Trump maybe didn't get from the conservative side. Yeah. So if you're really trying to win a GOP election, right, and that's what we all want to do, we want to save our country. Would it not be smarter, and tell me if I'm wrong, would it not be smarter to have Trump just push somebody like DeSantis through.
Well, he can't do it. It's we're 3.5 years away from the election. He's not going to do it yet, because then if Donald Trump comes out right now and says he's not running for office, you will see a flurry of Democrats. No, you will see a flurry of Democrats, and it will further fracture this side, because and especially I could think from the mindset of Donald Trump, he would think it looks weak. Whereas, but that's the thing. I firmly don't think he is going to run again. Because by what I said to you, Adam, if he was going to do it, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize he could announce now and then he could sue Facebook and fucking win. Like literally,
immediately be back online right away.
Because they have to do it. It's against the law for them to censor a political candidate. That's why they waited, and until everything was done. He was no longer a political candidate. That's why they can kick him off. If he announced tomorrow that he was running for office and he tried to spend money on ads and they said, no, you're not allowed, like your likeness isn't allowed, he could sue them and he would win. It's law. They can't not allow it. And that's the thing. But
do you think he gave it away on Hannity that he was running? Did you guys hear that?
I didn't. I heard something where he said he has made a decision. Right. That's what he said.
Right. They asked him.
That's what I heard.
What it was or something. He didn't say what. Okay. Yeah. He said, "Have you made a decision?" And Trump looked at him. And he goes, "Yes." Yeah. It was just like that.
Okay.
Like
well, he made a decision.
If
he is or not going to run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's what I heard too. That's what I heard too, and I'll tell you this: he would definitely not announce until after 2022, because he's going to continually push, and they don't want DeSantis go. They don't want to go ahead and announce him yet either. So they're going to keep pushing and let Trump keep pushing all these people, so that they can win back a lot of these seats. So that's what he needs to do right now. That's why he's out doing these things. I really believe that Trump will kind of back off and do what's better for the party. I think he's really out there just kind of bringing the awareness. Listen, this guy sells tickets. That's what he does. There's a reason he was on TV for so long. There's a reason that his name is on every building. There's a reason when you go to Atlantic City, you hope to see him at a fight. This guy is a superstar, and they know that. So use that. And he's using that right now to create these big crowds. I think it's great. I really am excited about the way this country will start going, because I think people are going to stop really being afraid to get out there, because I think people really are fed up with it. I know I am. Look, I was really happy to get this job opportunity that I was offered this week. I was afraid that everything that I've been doing online would kind of blackball me and make me look bad, because we've been shadow banned on these certain things. It helped me. It helped me get into a place I wanted to be, and I love it. So I do think that we're starting to change, but I really do believe, like Steve, that Trump will slowly get what are the people that he wants in, and then slowly back away and push some other people. I really do.
I just hope that he does it for the party sooner than later. Meaning because he has to. He has to keep pushing these people forward, but I mean, even now, I mean, sometimes I read his little blurbs that they send out, the media blurbs, and I'm like, come on, man, why? You know what I mean? Just stop for a day. Like, talk about all the good, but like, why are you going to be like, this person's an a-hole? Yeah, that's what everyone wants. They want us to turn on each other. But with that said, I want to show you guys something real quick. It's awesome.
This is so sick. I'm so stoked about this. Oh man, I'm pumped up about this.
Oh man, here we go. Right?
About the same thing.
What's that?
Nothing.
Hold on, I gotta get my phone queued up the right way so it doesn't.
I didn't know you were going to show us, so I was getting excited.
While you're doing that, my thing is, and I'll stop here. We keep depending on, no matter if it's Trump or president, to save us. When do we return to we the people?
I like that. Yeah, you're right.
I have 100%. No fucking idea. I really don't. I have no idea.
It's not one man, bro. It's not one guy. One guy can't save us all.
And that whole we the people thing is it's got a whole different definition for so many different people. You know what I mean? My definition and my breaking point, like I say, isn't the same, and the actions that I will take are different than other people. You know what I mean? It's it's so again, when are we just going to stop allowing ourselves to be divided and allowing ourselves to fall victim to, I mean, we talk about it, the victim mentality all the time. When are we going to allow ourselves to stop being, or to feeling like the victim, to feel we're being censored, to feel we're doing this, to feel we're doing that, and actually stand up and, you know, call out CNN, to call out the Twitter people, to call out these people, you know, and I'm not saying dox people. I'm just being like, just be honest. And just, you know, if you see something that's fake, retweet it and say, look at this fake stuff. Show the reasons why and show your receipts. Show why it's fake. That's how we actually put a stop to it. In the meantime, hopefully, that's not how we put a stop to it. That's how we slow it down. But check this shit out. I think all the microphones will help put
a stop to it. This right here, what he's about to show us, is going to put a big stop to it.
Yeah, and all the microphones are still on. Hold on, let me just double check. Quincy, say something.
Yep, I'm here.
Adam, say something. Everybody, say something.
Checky check.
Yep.
Okay. So all the audio's on. So what you're seeing now on your screen, now this is my phone. This is real time, real everything right now. Now I'm gonna zoom up and then
your bank account.
Yeah, no. Check this out. Citizen Stringer app right there.
Okay.
Now it's really rough right now, but this is what Adam and I were working on with the dev team today. So you can see here, this is like the new, the like home category. There's Spartan Armor ad, you know, just trying it out. And then we have the news. So all of our news articles are all here. Oh, you guys ready for this?
Look at that.
Boy.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And then,
this is so cool, dude.
And then we have all of the shows so far. Yeah.
Look at this.
And then we have, oh, you guys ready? We talked about this. This is just a placeholder image. Check this shit out. Oh shit! You can go live right from
Starting
the app.
In 3,
what?
2.
What?
Oh wow!
But wait,
it's so cool.
There's more. And then look. So here's a video. Oh, what's this one? What's this video right here? Oh, no way. Could this?
What is it?
What the fuck? Oh,
Well,
you see?
It unzoomed it. Oh, this is the show. You're watching
show right now.
You're watching the show.
Yeah, and look, it's yes. It's got its own chat built in with Adam and I talking to each other while we're testing it earlier today.
What's up, yo?
The chat's awesome.
The
chat's going to be good.
Yeah. And then here's the best part. This is a feature that only some are going to have access. Now, this looks like the same thing. But right
filters,
now.
Beauty. Look at that.
This is
filters.
This is for
I don't like
street
that angle.
reporters. Why? Because
this is what, Steve?
Is it too white?
There we go. Yeah, too white. There we go. That's better.
So this you can't see the whole thing because the overlay's there. But let me move this overlay.
I was going to say that's not your best side, but I haven't seen a good side yet. Let's see.
Fuck off. Anyway.
There's a flag. That's a good side.
I'm going to meet you one day, and then we'll see. But yeah, so this is how you would start a live broadcast. Now, if you have access to this, not everyone's going to have access to this side, but if you do have access to what you see on your screen right now, it sends us the signal directly to us so we can broadcast it out. So if for some way one of you guys or not one of you three, but one of the viewers are out at a protest and we already have you set up with press credentials and all that, you'll be able to go live in our app directly to us, which we can then broadcast out on our show straight through the app. This thing is yeah.
So my question, here's my question. Can it go landscape mode, or does it have to be up and down?
Yeah, for the videos.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes landscape mode.
It does go landscape mode.
It does go landscape mode. I tried it earlier. It does.
I don't want to sound racist.
It does.
It's not
people
good.
don't like that landscape mode for some reason. Every time I watch World
so
Star Hip Hop, they always have it upright.
I'll switch it back once it goes landscape. Now watch. Yeah, see? Bam. Now it's landscape in the phone.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks just like us.
It is us. But yeah, I know, right? But so I'm super excited now for everyone that is now being like, oh, this fucking dope. Where can we get it? You can't get it anywhere yet. It's not out yet.
Haha.
Oh,
not yet.
You can't get it yet, but there's going to be, and to be honest, that's only the first release, dude. Like the plans that we have for this thing are so incredible. But
even like the plans, we already have 6-month plans. We have plans like of way future updates of where we're gonna take this. That's how big we're gonna take it.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
it's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm
people could just get in the car, plug it into their CarPlay, and watch it. Well, I guess you're not supposed to watch one drive, but listen to the show and do everything right from their phone now. I love it.
And 24-hour, because not only with this, probably within 2 months of us actually launching this, we'll revamp that 24-hour, and then we're going to start doing live news broadcasts from 6 o'clock in the morning all the way till 10, and then we'll just recycle some of the stuff. So that way you don't have to go and watch your local shit news. You won't have to go and watch Fox News or CNN to get your morning news. You'll be able to watch someone that just sits there and actually tells you the damn news, and we'll have it out there. That's going to be for Android, iPhone, Roku. The only one it's not is going to be for Amazon Fire. Not yet. Eventually it will, but that takes more dev time, and we're just skipping that for now just to get it out. Because like I said, we were originally not even planning on releasing it till October?
October, November we were talking about.
The first release of this is going to be out before the end of the month.
How much is the app?
That's amazing.
The app, so the only thing you're going to have to pay for in this app is the live feeds, right? Is that what we decided, Adam? I think.
Yeah, that's the only thing you have to pay for is to watch live.
Yeah.
And it's what, $5.99 a month, right?
Yeah. And because that just circumvents social media, so you don't have to watch it. But you'll be able to watch everything on demand. So if you miss it, because the way we're going to switch the way we do our shows too. So I'll do like an hour on social media and an hour only on the app. And then if you don't want to pay the $5.99, you don't need to, because within like an hour or two, it'll be available for everyone to watch anyway. But it's a way for us. You can still
watch it.
Yeah, you can still watch it. And if you have a PTNN membership, you don't have to do anything. It's free. So you'll get a free coupon that you don't have to do anything. So.
Transfer right over. You'll be good to go.
Well, you'll have it to complement PTNN, because PTNN is going to stay up because I'm under contract anyway. So
right.
But yeah,
anybody who has that app can now go live, and it'll be on that page where they go live.
No. So that's only going to be for people. Well, we could, but it's only for people that we invite. So
okay,
right,
yeah, because there's still a bandwidth cost to actually doing that, but there's going to be a way for. So for example, like. Here, I'll show you real quick.
So we could get like Tara from Polish Brotherhood. We could get her on there, stuff like that.
Any credentialed media. Great. So this, what you're seeing, not on your screen. Where the fuck is it? So like this. Wrong one. Wrong like one this. Again. This. All right. So. These stories, now we don't have them built in here yet, so you can't see it, but that's not the right picture. But when this is up, and everyone's like, someone's like, Steve, you're really white. You need to see that big ass bright light right there. Shit shines on me, and yet my picture's super dark. Yeah. But so what you would do here is you would click on the little image up above, which is a Wake Up America. You choose how long the video is going to be, if it's going to be 1 minute and 20 seconds or whatever, and then you would go live. And you would go live
like that.
Bam.
Yeah, and that was it.
All right.
But yeah, it's pretty rad. So
I love it. I love it. I can't wait.
You click that little arrow. When you click that little arrow on the right, it sends it up to us. That beams it on up and saves the video. So that way, if for some reason we didn't catch the live, we got it on record. We can pull it back.
Well, not just that. Then we publish the live, and then everyone else can watch it. So when Quincy's doing a show, he could be like, "Hey, everyone, if you have an opinion about what I said today, and you want to get your voice heard, because I don't read the chat because I don't have enough time when I'm doing a live stream, you can go in there, you can make a video, and then we could also do rewards and all that stuff. So we could do a challenge, like if we have a Spartan Armor System, sponsor or a Just CBD, sponsor like this, and we're like, hey, whoever makes the best commercial for down. Just CBD. What?
My Just CBD thing. It's upside down. There it goes.
Oh, so like if you have a how much CBD did you take today, kiddo?
A lot.
See, I lost what I was saying. I got excited about the app. So, but yeah, it's going to be so much, that's going to be someone just said, what is the citizen part? That is because it allows you guys to upload video. It allows you to upload content specific to the shows. Or if you have a news story that you want us to cover, or you want to just cover it and you want to be like, hey, here's 120, you break down a news story in 120 seconds. That video comes up. We make sure it's not like, you just saying profanity and stuff. And then we put that video out so everyone could see it. Everyone can comment on it. Everyone can read it. Everyone could do anything about it. So, and then there'll be specific ones for like breaking news. There'll be ones for Quincy shows, ones for Freedom Flashpoint, ones for my show. So I could be like, hey, do you have something that you want to ask and you want to be on air, or is it your birthday? Make a video. Or one of the first ones we're going to do is we're going to sing the national anthem, and everyone's going to upload, just one sentence, and we'll have people upload it, and then we'll have 50 different videos, and then we'll make one big video and put it out there with everyone.
Oh, that'd be awesome,
dude. It's going to be sick.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yep. I like that.
So, yep.
I'm excited about it.
That's
I'm
one
excited.
of the first.
Well, I'm excited to wake up tomorrow and get back to work on it now. So can I just tell everybody really quick? Steve sends me a text at like 5. He's like, hey, bro, I'm going to step away for a few hours. We've been working hard all day. And I'm like, cool, no problem. I go downstairs. I'm making some food. I go back upstairs and I see this dude is like actively updating and configuring the app. Like I logged in and it looks completely different from it did 3 hours ago. So we're working our butts off trying to get it ready. We're gonna get it.
Then Adam calls me all excited about it, telling me all about it. I got all excited about it. I'm like, listen, I'll be in Atlanta in the morning.
I know
I'll be working. Come at 9 a.m. I'll start doing news stuff for it, sending it out to them. I'm real excited about this.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even just that, where. We'll stop there. There's some big things, there's going to be some offices, some studios that people will be able to utilize and we'll be able to utilize. There's a lot of things that we're working on in the pipeline, because if we can't trust mainstream media, we will become mainstream. That's it. And not
we're becoming it.
That's it.
Yeah. Not like by lying. We'll just be the one that everyone turns to for truth. Whether you agree or disagree, you'll be able to know that if you come to Citizen Stringer, you're going to find out the truth. You just may not like it, and it's presented by people that do not wear ties, because no ties are allowed on my business. So,
we're the No Tie Network.
No Tie Network.
So I do have a backup page. I will announce that tomorrow for Facebook. So I'll announce it on my show tomorrow. I do have a backup page for Facebook, so I'll have to start that.
All right.
Yeah.
You should probably wait a week before you announce it.
Okay. I'll wait a week.
That's what I would do. Well, because otherwise they're going to ban that.
Just come right after me.
Yeah. I mean, look at who was the guy that kept setting it up right away? Angry Viking, right?
Okay. Yeah.
He would set up
they
one.
kept blasting him like in 12 hours. He'd get blasted again.
You got to wait a little bit,
All
but
right.
I mean, it's your choice, but
Probably some good advice. Yeah.
I would just wait a week, that way you're not trying to circumvent their things, and you could say, well, I gave it a shot and I'll just rebuild this son of a gun. That's what we're doing, with the Citizen Stringer app Facebook page. It's essentially, we're just going to build that tomorrow. I'll do a little bit on the app, but the rest of it's all going to be on the website, because we're rebranding that, switching that over, and then we'll start using the Citizen Stringer app Facebook page as a primary Facebook page for all these broadcasts and all that stuff, or at least mine for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Someone said both my dogs have Facebook pages. So,
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, you could do it because your personal page wasn't banned, right?
No, my personal page was not banned, or my backup personal page. So.
Yeah, if your personal page wasn't banned, I would just go ahead and create a new page right now. Because usually when it's, if they delete your business page, they delete your personal too. So if they didn't do that, then.
No, they didn't do that.
No, then I would just create a new one. You're fine. Yeah. But someone else just agreed. Wait a week. But
wait a week. All right.
It's kind of up to you. I think that's going to do it, guys. It's been a long one, 2 hours. I appreciate everyone for watching. Appreciate all you guys for being here. Appreciate all the fans for watching and super chats. And we didn't read them. Sorry, I didn't read it. But
I know we got a few. So thank you guys. Thank you for that.
Yeah, because you guys are live on your YouTubes as well. Yep. So we're live streaming
correct.
we have a lot of people watching, but Yeah, stay tuned. I think the app, at least Android, will come out probably within, probably the next 2 weeks. If we finish what we're doing by Wednesday, we'll submit it to the stores on Wednesday. We'll probably get Android out in the next 2 weeks, and iTunes takes about 20 days. And they'll probably fight it back. But, man, we're doing it. I told you we're doing it. All you naysayers out there, I said we're breaking the way news is fucking reported.
I'm doing it.
Love it. Yeah, you gotta love the naysayers.
You're the reason why we're successful. Thank you, naysayers. Anyway, big shout out to Spartan Armor Systems. They are a sponsor for the show. You can visit them, SpartanArmorSystems.com, and use code PTNews and get 10% off your order. You'll see it right there once I get rid of this thing. Bada bing. Protect what's yours. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.